r/ask Reddit. What's something that was designed for the use of one sex but is now predominantly used by the other? Large pockets. Pockets were originally meant for women to have in their hoop skirts and such, while noble men had pockets, but they were quite a bit smaller. Now women have practically no pockets and men can literally fit a water bottle in their pants. I don't like to brag, but thanks for noticing. I feel bad BC whenever I talk to girls I know about just put X in your pocket. They say you think these pockets are real, and then here I am with enough pocket space to fit my whole ass iPad LMAO. Wristwatches were originally thought to be too feminine for men, but during World War I they were found to be easier to use than a pocket watch. This is so interesting. What was feminine about the wristwatch? Was it the way someone would check it, the mannerism? Just guessing, but I'd say it was probably its resemblance to a bracelet. If you'd never seen one before, i.e. when they first became a thing, you'd probably have a thought process of something like that bracelet as a tiny clock. That's handy. Marlboro cigarettes. Before the Marlboro Man became an icon of rugged masculinity, they were marketed towards women. They even offered red-colored filter ends that would hide lipstick marks. Hence Marlboro's iconic red and white branding. And the Marlboro Man's deep red lipstick. Yes. Crop tops were originally designed for men to show off their abs. Is that why we see that in anime so much? Joseph Joestar has entered the chat. Women didn't used to be allowed to ride horses at all, or had to ride side saddle because of their dresses. In 2002, when filming the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the production crew couldn't find enough skilled equestrians to be extras, because it was mostly women who still rode recreationally. Most of the Rohirrim in the movies are actually just like Eowyn, women pretending to be men. There are some wonderful photos from the Rohan sets of gangs of women on horseback wearing fake beards and grinning in glee. Makes me think of that scene from Life of Brian where all the ladies have to dress up as men to attend an execution. Best part is most of the parts were played by men, pretending to be women, pretending to be men. Old Spice. Old Spice was launched by Shulton Inc. in 1937. William Lightfoot Schultz was inspired by his mother's potpourri. And as a result, the first Old Spice product in 1937 was a woman's scent called Early American Old Spice. The product was received well and therefore followed with Old Spice for Men in 1938. Old Spice door blocking body wash Javesile 18 horse door blocking power. My hoodies. What a brag. My wife is pregnant, so 90% of her clothes don't fit. I've lost half of my closet. I only hope I get all of it back after the baby is born. But I'm afraid she will decide that she loves them and keep them. Victoria's Secret was originally supposed to be a place for men to buy clothes for their wives without feeling embarrassed, but now it's almost exclusively shopped at by women. The colors pink and blue as they pertain to children's clothing. Pink used to be a masculine color and blue feminine. Little known fact that should be more well known. Little boys were dressed in pink, and little girls dressed in blue around the turn of the 20th century. There are also portraits of little boys wearing fanciful dresses. Yep, they used to have pants ceremonies for boys. Kleenex was originally marketed as women's makeup cleaner, but they started complaining because guys were always sneezing into their tissues. Sneezing. I heard that 90% of the people who read Playgirl are actually gay men, not women. Which I think was the intended audience when it was launched back in the day. I used to work on refrigeration equipment and one of our clients was a chain of strip clubs run by old school Italian guys, which means they were associated with exactly who you think they're associated with. They spent a couple of $1 million adding a huge addition to their flagship club that would have male strippers, hoping to attract bachelorette parties, etc. The night it opened, it was patronized mostly by men, mostly gay men. They literally closed early that night and never reopened that side of the business. They turned it into just a general event space that could be rented out for parties and things. But hardly anybody wanted to have their 25th wedding anniversary dinner attached to a strip club. Yoga. It was invented by men for men, but for some reason it's mostly women who gravitate towards it. Watches were originally created for women, because they didn't have pockets for a pocket watch. Because they couldn't just let us have pockets. The computer. It was mainly designed for data entry and was considered women's work. I remember in elementary school in like 1990 being told typing is for secretaries, and boys don't become secretaries. Now get to work on your cursive writing practice because when you're an adult you'll need it. I'm a guy and I took typing my junior year in HS because I need an elective. I liked it so much I took it again the following year. This was 1980 to 1981 and the class mix was always about 50-50 guys and girls. No one ever said to me that typing was for women. It was a fun class. Knitting wasn't exactly designed for either sex, but it used to be done by the men of society, with knitting guild systems and structured apprenticeships. It wasn't until the Victorian era that it was taken up by women. I feel like this may be mixing personal knitting and professional knitting. Many professional industries are male dominated even when women are the primary makers domestically. Tampons were originally meant for soldiers to plug bullet wounds until around World War I when nurses realized they can be used for more than just plugging wounds. I think heels were used by butchers originally or something. Also used by noblemen to enhance the calf muscles. I thought it was to stay on a horse. Heels help keep your foot in the stirrup. Skirts, originally worn by both sexes but a lot of men. Since the invention of trousers men have stopped wearing them. I'm gonna start wearing skirts to work since I can't wear shorts when it's hot out. I'm a mechanic. You'll have more flexibility to move around without those constricting pants. Also give your co-workers a show. Make sure you put a tip jar next to you. Video game creators had to make a choice back in the day as to which gender toy section they were going to put their games in and chose boys. From then on video games were classified as a boys thing. In recent years video games did some work to be more open to females and now a lot of girls own consoles and pride themselves on being a gamer. Despite the primary demographic being guys. However, most gamers, i.e. people who play games and not people you'd picture a gamer as, console, gaming PC, plays games like Minecraft or The Witcher, are actually older women. What games are they playing? Candy Crush and other mobile games. Never touching a controller or considering themselves a gamer. Before the video game crash, video games were marketed entirely gender neutrally, and in Japan games continued to be marketed in more or less the same way the Atari was well into the 90s. The upstairs men's room at our office. Our company is literally 95% female. The upstairs men's room is a single seater with a lockable door. Despite there being 5 commodes available in the 2 ladies' rooms, female workers use the men's room for privacy. Petty revenge. I always leave the seat up. My job has gendered bathrooms in the back room. Problem is, they're single person only and it's mostly men in the back, and some of them will sit in the bathroom on their phone, so it's pretty common for the men to just use the women's. Only difference between the two is the men's is dirtier and doesn't have a sanitary napkin bin. I've read that a lot of men now are wearing subtle makeup. In fact, a couple of the major cosmetics companies are now offering lines designed for men specifically. The cosmetic industry has been trying to get men to wear makeup for decades. When your market is only 50% of the population, if they can eliminate the stigma, they can effectively double their market capacity. Pockets. Originally women had a slit in their skirt and would hang a pouch on a string underneath. This was their pocket. Over time it transformed into what we know as pockets today. Move further, and women can't buy clothes that actually have usable pockets without effort. Higher education in the United States. Originally women were excluded from it, so it was literally designed for males. Today, female students outnumber males in most institutions of higher learning. If anybody sees this before scrolling, I'm warning you now, it's all just heels. IDK if this counts, but I use a women's razor and women's shaving cream to shave my dong and balls. Almost never nick myself and it leads to an infinitely smoother shave with almost no razor burn. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.